When presenting, it's always good to keep in mind the idea of contrast. Now, contrast could be size, shape, or color, and even fonts. In Google Slides, we're provided certain tools and procedures that help us adjust these and create different ideas of contrast. So, for instance, if I have two shapes here, I can adjust the size of one shape by simply coming to the handlebar in the corner and moving it upwards. Now, as I move it upwards and to the left, you can see that it doesn't quite stay the same in proportion. Now, I can also see that as I do this, it becomes either the same size, as I can see with my guidelines here that appear, or I can make it bigger. Now, obviously, we want to contrast this, so I want to make this smaller than the other piece. Now, the other object here, if I want to keep its proportion, but I want to make it bigger, I will hit Shift key, grab that corner handlebar, and then pull it up and down. And you can see as I do this that it keeps the same proportion. So if it's 3 to 4, it remains 3 to 4 no matter how big or small it gets. And so this is how you can maintain different types of shapes as you work in your Google Slides. Now let's go ahead and take a look at adding different sizes and shapes. So let's say we have all the same shape here. So I'm going to insert the same shapes here for the first three. Now I want to make sure it's the same size as the other ones. So there I don't have it quite at the same size, so I can just pull on the right, and now I have, and I can check that. And if I move it over, you can see that it's almost the same size. I can just bring it down a little bit, and you can see that it's now the same size. Now, obviously, I would want to, if I want to contrast, I can throw in a different shape. And in a similar manner, instead of just doing size, I'm just going to do shape, but I want the same size of shape. So it's a different shape, but same size. I can compare it here, and you can see that I am right in the same area with a circle as I am the square. And finally, obviously with contrast, you can go with colors. And so to get colors, you simply just click, and there's different options you can do with the colors. You can select the fill button for the entire object, and you can say I want a theme color. You can select another object and say I want to fill it with a standard but much lighter color. And then you can adjust the line color. So if I come here, I can say I want this line color to be black on light peach, and you can see that I have a black line. Now if I click on the line weight next to the line color, I can change the weight to be much heavier, and it then becomes much more distinct. Likewise, I can do it to the same on the other one, and I could say that. And I come down here, and let's say I don't want a solid line, I want a dash, so I would just come here and make dashes. If I want to make that more pronounced, I change the weight, and you can see I have dashes now. Also, with the fill color, I could fill it with a custom color. So if I come up here and I click on a color, you can see that you have these sort of hexadecimal codes. Now, hexadecimal codes are standard on any digital platform. So if I want to grab a color that I like, I can come up to a tool. Let's say I have this tool here, and I say pick color from page. And so now I can come around and I can try to pick a color, and you can see this changes, and I can click on that color, and then I can paste that hexadecimal here, and now I get that exact color as my line. Obviously it didn't take there, so I will just try that again, fill color, and you can see that it records what I put, so I'm going to say put this color in, and now I have the color. So it records whenever you use a new color, it will record the options down here below the custom. Finally, if you want to add a little bit more features to your coloring, you can come up to the fill color, and here I have my circle, and my circle is up front, and now let's say I want a very turquoise looking color. Now you notice if I do this, it completely overtakes the line that's in the square. However, I can adjust this. Let's say I want to have that dashed line appear in some way, and I can say I want it to be transparent, and now you can see I have no color there. But let's say I don't want to go all the way to transparent. I can come to the fill color, I select the shape, fill color, and then I click on that color again, the turquoise. But then I come here, I go to custom, and now let's say I want to keep some of that turquoise, but I also want to show what's behind it, and I can just move that bar down and I hit OK, and now you can see that there's a line behind the circle because I have allowed some of that color to become transparent and you can see through it. And as I move it around, you can see that anything behind it appears with a shade of turquoise on it. And so this is how you can sort of build contrast using the idea of size, shape, and color.